right, the main event. It is awesome to bring Bryce up. Bryce Laguer is the owner of Basil Coffee, which opened at Laka Projects this spring. Now, the word basil refers to a foundation, base, or essence. Bryce and his wife designed Basil to offer Charlotte a welcoming place, as well as a social hub of multicultural affairs that highlights Charlotte's West Side. Basil is founded on 4 principles: care, sustenance, service, and creativity. And he's going to tell you all about this. So I'm super psyched to bring our new friend up. Ladies and gentlemen, here to speak to us on our global theme of intention, please welcome to the stage Charlotte's own Bryce Laguer, everyone. Come on up, Bryce.
All I wanna do is be the best me. All I wanna do is be the best me. All I wanna do is be the best me.
I want to preface with the fact that there are a lot of people here in Charlotte doing really, really great work. My wife and I moved here going on 2 years now. And in that time frame, having ran into so many people, I'm exceedingly grateful. But Tim and Matt, we gotta definitely make sure that we get some really, really awesome people here who've been doing fantastic work. So I just wanted to preface with that. As he said, my name is Bryce Laguer. The last name is French, so the cool thing is that I can always switch up. Right now I'm rooting from France. So that's that. Intention. This is actually, ironically, this is a word that kind of triggers me because it's overused sometimes, 60% of the time. I like to think of intention for me as attempting to do something that matters, trying to make things that matter. So when we moved here to Charlotte, that's exactly what we set out to do. But we got to clear the air. Again, I was a shit student. Like, my old professor, Mr. Opella, can attest to that. 1.7 is not sexy. It's not cool. And quite frankly, it's very, very embarrassing when you're in high school trying to dictate what's your next move. But that was the reality that I had. I should have been in trade school. I probably should have listened to my mom when she actually gave me the option. Hey, you want to enjoy that high school experience, or you want to go do what I kind of know you're good at? I'm like, no, I want to enjoy high school the way that they show on TV. And didn't work out. But I have no credentials. I barely graduated college. I went to a lovely university at Winston-Salem State. Dave. Yes, sir. If you ain't a Ram, then you ain't. No professional accolades. I have nothing. I really don't have anything. I don't make bank at all. I make a decent living, but there is a tendency of people assuming that you open your own business, it's just rock solid. It takes time. Still have work to do. Seriously, like I actually need to go back to the farm today in Lancaster, so I gotta hurry up. And then the 6th one, I've been on this kick with the Lego Batman movie. We were talking about this. My kids love it, and I think it's the coolest movie in the world. Has anyone seen Lego Batman movie? Okay, help me. I need your assistance. The first 10 minutes when they're in the plane, right? They do the rock, paper, scissors, right? And the response is, I'm a loser at work and I'm a loser at home. Like, that moment, I knew that movie was for me. I'm like, oh my God, this is not for them. I just thought it was funny. No disputing that. So who are we? So we are the Laguers. My wife is from Colombia. She's from Bucaramanga. Moved to Miami, Orlando, and that is where I met her. I am originally from New Jersey, from the shores of New Jersey. Red Bank, Asbury Park, Neptune. Bruce Springsteen country. And I'm kind of a mess, I'll be honest. I like a lot of things, and I work in a lot of things. I work in the music industry from the Spotifys. I work with great chefs from LA to Miami. I've helped open up coffee companies before, and I'm essentially a consultant by trade. But the city of Charlotte sees me through the lens of coffee, which is fine. I don't necessarily flex that muscle. My wife is an exceedingly creative designer who actually helped us with designing Basil Coffee and figuring out what it should stand for. So she's one of the unsung heroes there. the journey to coffee, again, working with a few clients, a chef from Argentina in Miami and Orlando to LA, working with a immigrant from Honduras. His name is Eduardo Su. His father's from China, moved to Honduras, met a beautiful woman, and they have Ed. Ed just looks like this transcendent being. It's weird. You just don't know what he is, but he speaks Mandarin, he speaks Spanish. It's fantastic. And I worked with him for about 2 years, and I just shut my mouth. I shut my damn mouth. I didn't know anything about anything. I just wanted to absorb the information that he had, and I couldn't stay away from it. And at this time, Andrea and I are talking about going back to Colombia to visit her family, and we're realizing coffee actually is very relatable to our identity. I am Afro-Chicano, literally, and I'm very verbal about it. I'm Afro-Indigenous, and my wife, being from Colombia, we're, like, man, we have to start dictating what we want to do. Let's either move to LA and, consult full time. We'll go to New York. I'll get a corporate creative job. Let's get this, let's get that 400K. Some things I'll kind of go into very, very soon happened that really derailed that, but we chose coffee. We felt very, very prideful that this indigenous commodity was actually a part of us, and we could actually be stewards of that, because the reality is that we are not seeing a lot of Afro-Chicano, Afro-Indigenous, or even women of color from different countries owning coffee companies. And within context, when we look at Ethiopia, it is actually the women who are servicing your coffee. So that kind of gave us some gasoline. We thought, we should actually, we know what we're doing now. We should actually do this, but where do we go? So we decided Charlotte. Again, we were choosing between New York, New York, Los Angeles, and Charlotte. And my wife was excited about all of them for the most part. And we came to visited our peers, Pure Intentions, Not Just Coffee, Hex. At the time, they were the only ones open. Todd with Undercurrent, he was just here. They are now open at Plaza Midwood. Ian Kolb with Cup Lux, they weren't open just yet, but we saw that there was a community brewing here, and there's two facets to that. We realized that as a customer, you're walking into a space, just give me my coffee. I could really care less about your story. Make sure it's good. Make sure you're smiling when I order my damn coffee, please, because I got things to do. On the opposite side of that quarter, there was something else that we realized, again, there's something missing, there's more to tell. We should do this. We should tell that story. So we started off with no money at all. Like dead ass broke. I didn't have much. We moved to a city. I had a very, very important conversation with my folks about the reality, wanting to start a company, and probably the most profound conversation, they invited us to Jamaica, which we said, look, we can't afford that. We're in Orlando, Florida at this time. And they sit us down, they say, look, things are a little different for you guys at this point. We could jump out of school and easily get that job and get all of the security necessary to feel like we're gonna do okay. It's not the same for you guys. And I thought that was interesting because my parents are very methodical with what they talk about. So this kind of conversation's like, oh my God, where are my parents? Who are you? You're so empathetic. Wow, to this? And they requested, look, if you guys think about Charlotte, you're already aware of it. You went to high school here, you went to college in Winston-Salem. Look, we'll figure something out. Don't spend any money on finding a home yet. Just put that in your company, and that's what we did. My father and I restore classic and muscle cars whenever I have time away from everything that I do. So we found a lovely 76, 302 engine, Mustang motor. She sucks up gas like a MF'er. But we restored her. I was very, very proud about that. We've been waiting for years to restore something together and finally did it. And go figure, I spend that money, and there were two consultants that caught wind of us, what we're trying to do, our story here with coffee, and both of them pointed us to the West Side. The LGBT plus community was actually the second phase of us realizing, okay, there's something that people want from us. My tone is resonating with the West Side. I don't get it. I never really had a chance to really understand the history of the West Side. There's a lot of it. I implore you to dig into the West Side as one of the most predominant Afro-Indigenous communities in the city. And for me, it just made sense, as the building that we are attached to is called LACA, Latin American Contemporary Art Gallery. The founder of that building is from Argentina. So when he moved here, looked around and said, you know what, I don't really see any representation for what I love and what's me. Fuck it, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna open it up, find a building. And we really resonated with that. It's kind of bold, exceedingly bold. And they loved our story, made it work, and we opened up 3 months ago. And thus far, with the exception of a woman who was upset that I didn't have cards, shit you not, she came in, welcome to Basil Coffee, you know, how'd you hear about us? Oh, you know, social interwebs, cool. Do you have a card? Like, ma'am, no, I don't. We try to stay paper-free if we can. And she looks me up and down and says, you just lost a customer. I didn't give her coffee yet, mind you. I didn't give her coffee, and I'm kind of baffled. Is anyone familiar with like Eddie Murphy, Kevin Hart, Chris Rock? You know that face that's like, can I get you a water? I don't know what to say. I don't know who you are. And she says, look, I have a book full of cards, and I need a card. Needless to say, we talked about it. She apologized, she enjoyed her coffee, and she went away. Outside of that, everyone else seems to be pretty thrilled with what we have going on. You know, we're not curing cancer. We're simply just trying to provide a lovely cup, a lovely plated item from Chef Hector Gonzalez, and just trying to experience the community as best as we possibly can. This was difficult, talking about the why. Not by my own admission, mortality with people that I were beginning to love or loved started becoming my instructor on what I needed to consider, my filters. Everyone has their thing. Everyone has their mom and dad fighting inside of them. Some things that are unhealthy, some things that are healthy, that one guy, that one gal, that one experience. And it's really, really hard. It's quite amazing how well we compose ourselves. Right now, as you're looking at me, I'm sure you got your thing, right? You got that thing that you have to walk through, you have to talk through. Sam Mills went to high school with my father, and he was the first person who, when we moved from Jersey after 9/11, my mother was actually running away from that building as it was falling down. He essentially became kind of like an uncle of sorts. You know, if you can believe it, this skinny body was playing football. And he was training me. He invited us to Atlanta, where Jake Delhomme got his behind ripped by Vic. Julius Peppers was doing work, but yeah, we got tore up. We found the West Side, and we realized that, again, this is a rich history here, and we need to make sure that we're providing value to that. We need to actually know who our people are. Yes, I'm Afro-Chicano, so what I don't mean is my people. I'm just referring to the West Side, what's going on. I need to shut my mouth again for a few years and figure out who is here, what are the problems, and what can I actually do? Do I need to get out of the way and provide a space? Do I actually have solutions? Do I have resources? Then there's the balance of my time with my family. Again, I became very, very cold in how I saw my life and how to actually make sense of this all. We can be very, very hard on ourselves. You know, I don't spend enough time with my kids, this and that. You know, if you got 10 minutes, you need to just relax and make that 10 minutes as substantial as possible, because it's not, the experience is not the same for everybody. The family experience, the American experience. And for me, that was tough. I had to find my way there. I was a shit husband for a little bit. I was a shit dad. I was very, very unfair with my feelings. Why is it this beautiful little boy that's in front of me? I am absolutely frustrated with this little boy. You know, that's an emotion that you have to address, and it was a struggle. And then you start thinking, okay, this company is providing value to its local community, not just we're providing value, community, but literally actually understanding what's needed, and then actually knowing the balance of your time at work and time with your family. And then you start understanding, okay, how can we push the boundaries? So we have a farm in Lancaster. It's not my farm. It's more of a partnership. You guys have probably already heard of them, North Corner Haven. They're kind of a, vibey place at this point. Tori and Casey, that's Casey right there, ex-Army. And we're finding new ways of essentially using coffee compost. Got great friends at a lovely restaurant that I'll talk about more in the future. And we reached out to them. And they're professionals in this area. How do we take coffee compost and actually push the boundaries? What can we do with it? Can we use it for topsoil? How long does it take for the pH balance to go down? Why all this is important is because coffee actually predicates hunger. So coffee and food actually need to be hand in hand. So that's why we actually brought on a very, very talented chef to assist us in that. But we needed that connection. And we found it. It took us a while, but we finally found it. And I cannot wait to show you guys more about what we're doing there. And then it became a discussion of, because Big Daddy Trump is doing a really good job of communicating, the tone. I am Mexican, so that's rough. The international experience is not the same for everybody. There are people who are probably running away from death. Just gotta get illegal, right? This is Lucia. Lucia is from Eritrea. Eritrea is right above Ethiopia. So usually when you meet an Ethiopian, they will actually say, look, bro, like they know that they're from Eritrea, but they don't want to talk to an American through this. Like, oh, I'm from Ethiopia, that's it. Lucia was the first person that we hired on as we realized that there's a huge immigrant community here. There's a lot of beautiful men and women who just want to bust their ass and provide value to this city. And put simply, they need jobs. They need real-life experience. And I think one of the best examples right now is Project 658, nonprofit on the east side. Love those guys. Right now, we're trying to find the best way of actually, not being cute about these words. How does this farm that we're actually partnering with and we're actually harvesting our own fruits and vegetables, not just giving our compost, but literally, I'm on the field twice a week. Can I provide a job there? Is this just about coffee now? Is this more? Is it altruistic? Are you doing too much? I don't know, maybe. Who cares? But I'm listening. So that's been really, really fun. Sometimes it's short term, sometimes it's long term, but we're just trying to provide value. She should have her own coffee company by now. She should have her own retail space. And we're trying to figure that out. And then probably the most practical one, probably the only utility to take away, because I'm sure there are some folks who have staff members, some team members. There is nothing worse than your boss or your leaders bringing you onto something. Within theory, treat it like it's yours, because it's about respect. But do not get it twisted. If they don't get that percentage that you're getting, you need to not project that onto them. You need to provide value, period. Chef is 26, and I've worked with a lot of chefs. That boy's got some talent. He's from Guadalajara, Mexico, where my grandmother's from, where my father's mother's from. I'm doing my best to kind of situate him to a position where, hey, look, let's finally open up that Latino spot. The quintessential Colombian, Latino, Argentinian. Kristen, she's our director of coffee. Kristen is from Orlando, North Carolina, Seattle, girls from everywhere. She's young, but she's talented. And I'm always very, very upfront with her. You need to leave whenever you need to leave. If you have an opportunity and someone's able to take a check and multiply what I'm giving you by 6, girl, get the fuck out of here. Call me if you have any questions, because you're gonna die one day. Don't get it twisted. You're too comfortable. Just go and do whatever you gotta do. My wife, talented as all hell. That girl can do anything that I do times 17. If she, by choice. I'll open up a coffee company, do it better than you. Whenever she's ready to walk away, sweetie, do your thing. We're gonna homeschool our kids. That's gonna be full time. And all that to be said, everyone needs to find something, whether it's themselves, their kids. You do need to find something to kind of pour your life into. Because if you haven't already realized it, as I'm seeing some folks with, some years, you already know exactly what that can do. Seeing loved ones, hearing stories about, an 18-year-old. We're working with West Charlotte High School with Kima Davis, at-risk students, trying to develop some program to kind of give these kids an opportunity to understand that, look, I get it, but let's get it. We need to figure out what you want to do, because right now to the system, you are considered a 1.7 GPA. We're trying to take care of our immigrants. Practically. I don't want to talk. Oh, maybe this. No, bro, give them a job. Equip them and get the hell out of the way. Bring on talented people who just need an opportunity for people to see what they can do and get the hell out of the way. And when you're done, go home and enjoy your family. But I hate to oversimplify very, very big things, but again, something shifts when things like that happen. Things become very, very straightforward. Intention becomes so democratic. It's almost like waking up and, going to the bathroom, brushing your teeth. It's just, I don't know when I'm going, so what's up? I've got to focus. I'm doing my thing. If there's anyone in here, Davida, you have been doing a really, really good job of expressing that by your moves. I can't overstate that. I can't overstate that. But all that to be said, sometimes I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I've got a really, really great pivot foot, and I know how to fail quickly. Yeah, I don't have all the answers. I know my cussing, Bailao, my captain, Charlotte Independence. As he says, no, yeah, cussing's just color, Bryce. I know that there are people in here, who probably are thrown off by that, but as he says, it's just color. I'm from Jersey, it's passion. All that to be said, I really am exceedingly grateful that you guys are even sitting here, nodding your head. Time is exceedingly valuable, and I very much value yours. So, in that fashion, you too, it's on you. You guys have a great, great platform here, and you're doing what you need to do by inviting more diverse speakers and diverse tones. Again, the Charlotte experience is not the same for everybody. And it just takes a 5-minute ride to go to the north side, the west side, Ballantyne. Oof, there's actually some crazy stuff going over there, I found out. I don't know what's going on. Just keep providing them value. Just keep listening. If they're pissed off, come on. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. I really, really do hope that you guys find a way to make things that matter on your end. And stop being so fucking hard on yourself, man. You're going to die one day. Just relax. Just get it done. So I appreciate you.
Bryce Laguer, everybody, Bryce Laguer. Thank you, man. We love what he's up to. So much intention. Appropriately so, we're going to gift you from Queen City Growlers the official Creative Mornings Charlotte coffee mug to thank you for bringing your story to us today. So there you go. We hope that's displayed at Basil. Thank you, man. Next month, join us at Divine Barrel Brewing, where we're going to be exploring the theme of community, and our speaker is going to be Dr. Stephanie Cooper-Luter, new to Charlotte. So August 3rd at Divine Barrel. We love you guys. We'll see you next month. Stay creative. Keep connecting. Thank you so much, guys.